So I see videos online a lot about a vegan diet, right? And so I decided to try it. I tried to be vegan for about 4 months, successfully 4 months. And here's what I learned: it works. It's a good diet. I love chicken and pork and turkey and all those things. So it was hard for me to see a life without it. But it took me about a month and a half to successfully get to just like a close to true vegan diet. I'm not like not saying raw vegan or uh full on healthy vegan, but I went from those, chick chicken burgers, CHIKN, and the Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers to eventually just all right, vegetables, edamame, black beans. I eventually got to that for successfully about 4 months. So overall, it was about 5 month journey. But the main thing I noticed, and I hate noticing things and then can't really put a lot of science to it. But the main thing I noticed was my sleep was amazing. I stopped snoring. I stopped snoring. If I didn't stop snoring, I stopped snoring enough to wake myself up in my sleep. So that is one thing I full on noticed. Even if I had a night of drinking, even if I went out with some friends and stayed out late, even if I was kind of sick, I stopped snoring as much as I used to at least. And a second thing I noticed was energy. Energy was weird. So my energy was A plus, but I feel like on a regular diet where I wasn't focusing on a vegan diet, when I was eating meat and things like that, I could go from 85, so let's say a B plus, to extra credit, like 105, 110. On a vegan diet, there was no extra umph. It was just, I was a static A plus 95% all the time. I kind of missed that extra credit feeling from eating a good meal or putting stuff in my body that really revved me up, but I did not miss the lows. So it was a hard thing to kind of accept, but it was positive. And so yeah, so sleep for sure. My energy was static. And here's the thing with the energy, because I didn't have highs and lows like that and I was just pretty stable at a good energy level, I could sleep less or I could stay up longer. I needed less coffee. Yeah. And that's just specific to me and who I am, I guess. I'm not putting it in a perspective of everybody should try this. I'm just observing things and then I'm trying things. And then the last thing, I noticed that I didn't gain much weight because I didn't gain weight at all. But when I was trying to work out in the gym and really get cut up the way I wanted to, I hadn't mastered that yet. And I don't think I ever would because I did rely maybe too much on carbs and fruit. I don't know. I hadn't figured out that science yet, but I did notice I wasn't as strong in the gym. I was still satisfied with my strength, but again, I didn't have that extra credit. So that also showed up in the gym at times. But overall, it was a good experience. Would I do it again? I think so. Right now, I don't know if I necessarily have the time. And I think that's kind of what got me out of it. So during COVID and then after COVID, where everybody was working at home, I had the opportunity for a good time to really meal prep or think through meals because I was at home a lot. People weren't traveling up until about 2023-ish, 2020, yeah, 2023-ish, going into 2024. Salesmen, we started traveling a whole bunch again. I was traveling right after COVID, but we went back to full speed, 50 to 60% on the road. Um, and so I kind of just been flying by the seat of my pants and just eating as best as I could. But the vegan diet was super helpful. I hope that I can engage it again before, and I'm not going to speak that into existence, but I hope that I can engage it before I need to do some type of extreme health change. I did enjoy the diet. It was healthy, but I do like getting meat proteins. So that's going to be tough for me. But when I had the feeling of being in that mindset and living in that body and kind of just eating the vegan lifestyle, it wasn't bad. And I didn't miss meat, but I am one of those people, I'm an extremist. I'm either like all the way in or all the way out. So once I gave into it, it was cool and I was happy. But then I was just like, all right, cool, this was good. But I'm kind of, now I'm back on the road, this and that, and I kind of let it go. But what are your experiences with the vegan diet? I don't know if you've like attempted it for longer than 4 months. I'm not necessarily talking to people who are 100% vegan lifestyle. You don't wear leather, but I'm talking about people who are just, they see people having significant health improvements from the vegan diets like I did, and they want to try it or they have tried it. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to people who are going to semantic me to death. If you had a good experience or a bad experience, let us know. I would love to get feedback because I am thinking about trying it again. I am, like I said, I'm in my 40s now, so health is important. It's always been important, but diet is even more important. So that's my take. If y'all have any feedback, let me know. This is Brian Observes.